Welcome to Carolina Cooking. I'm your host, Tom Zelenk, an average guy getting to learn to cook from the best chefs we have here in the Carolinas, and I'm very excited today because today we're making meatloaf and mashed potatoes and green beans, and I love meatloaf. It's a very classic recipe, of course. It's a very old recipe, but we're giving it a new twist that I think you're going to enjoy. We're going to do it in 30 minutes or less. Keep watching. If I can do it, you can too.
The worst cook on TV. And the best chefs in the Carolinas.
Not to worry, we're trained professionals.
If you can learn a lot from your mistakes, you'll learn the most from Carolina Cooking.
And a shrimp.
If Tom can do it,
Looks delicious.
so can you.
Now that's Carolina Cooking. Wow, this is incredible. Joining us here today in the Hadco Viking showroom is the chef from Fenwick's on Providence here in Charlotte, North Carolina, Chef Catherine Rabb. Catherine, appreciate you coming out and teaching me to make a new twist on meatloaf. I love meatloaf. It's just like a classic comfort food, you know.
Absolutely.
You get in all the mound, and you've stuffed the center of the meatloaf, is that right?
Yeah, what we're doing is we're making a meatloaf that has a little twist. We're actually putting filling inside the meatloaf, and we're using a really rich blue cheese that's going to melt all the way through the meatloaf, some bacon and some tomatoes, and then we're serving it with some Yukon Gold mashed potatoes.
Mashed taters and green beans,
Absolutely.
and we're set. All right, so what's the first thing that we need to do to begin?
Well, let's get our potatoes cooking, and
Okay.
we've chosen a Yukon Gold potato today, and the Yukon Golds are a good potato for mashed potatoes. They have a high moisture content, which means they're going to make a good mashed potato, unlike a baking potato, which will be starchy.
Okay.
So just toss as many as will fit in that pan in there, and that's about, there we go.
I'm going to get them all in there.
Perfect.
Crew's always hungry, so we like to fill them up on starches.
One of my little tricks is to throw a couple of cloves of whole garlic in.
Okay.
Now at this point too, you could also boil those in chicken stock or any other flavorful stock if you want. But
All right. Is it okay that it has a little
That's
paper
all
on
right.
it?
Yeah,
Do we have to crush them or
nope,
anything?
just throw them in and give a little infusion of
Okay.
of
Alrighty.
garlic.
And that's
That's
salt
done.
or anything?
maybe a little pinch of salt would be good.
Okay.
And then we'll season them further when we smash them up later. And we'll just let those cook for a minute while we assemble our loaf.
All right. And how long are those going to take?
Takes about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Alrighty. So what do we do now?
First thing we're going to do is we're making a classic meatloaf recipe, and if folks are watching at home, they can make their mama's meatloaf recipe. This is about as standard as it gets.
So whatever your classic meatloaf is recipe, you can actually substitute it for whatever we're doing here. Okay.
Some people like ground pork. Some people like ground veal as well. Some people like a spicier meatloaf. You could add a little horseradish or a little mustard to the loaf itself.
Could you do this with ground turkey as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely.
And what is this? Is there a certain type of beef, like 90% versus 10%
I'm
fat?
using an 80-20 ground beef
80-20? Okay.
today, just because it. I kind of like the flavorfulness of it. Fat kind of means that it's going to have a little taste.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right.
So we're going to crack 2 eggs and whisk them up.
All right. 1 egg and 2 eggs.
Good technique.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I could try it one-handed, but it's only a 30-minute show. So.
And as you keep whisking, I'm going to add a little milk. About a third of a cup of milk.
We found like the smallest
whisk in the universe.
Yeah, we found a wee whisk. It's the wee whisk. We're making jumbo meatloaf, and we're using a wee whisk. Alrighty. And that was just heavy cream you dumped in there?
Just milk.
Oh,
and
milk.
eggs.
Okay. Milk and eggs.
And you don't have to. You're fine.
Okay.
And you can just add it into here.
Alrighty. And this is 2 eggs for, is this 2 pounds?
This is 2 pounds of ground beef.
Okay, alrighty.
And let's add some onions and celery.
Onions. This
Could add green pepper, red pepper if you wanted.
Doesn't matter which kind of onion we use?
I used a Vidalia onion for this. I just kind of like the smooth taste, but you could use
Okay.
a Spanish onion, a red onion, whatever suits your fancy.
All right.
And if you don't like celery or you don't like onion, don't use any.
Yeah, okay. And this is the same,
Right,
these
this
were all
is-
about equal
yeah,
parts of onions.
Onions and celery.
Celery.
You could use green pepper if you wanted.
Okay.
And what I'd like you to do is put in about half the breadcrumbs, and we'll
Okay.
just see where we are. That's about a cup of breadcrumbs total.
Okay.
And we'll see. This is some ketchup,
Some ketchup.
because it's a good classic meatloaf thing.
Alrighty.
How about a little pinch of salt, garlic salt?
Garlic salt? Okay. And is that all that's in there? Does garlic salt
Has a little
also
parsley
a little
in it,
parsley in there too?
Yeah.
Just 1 pinch or 2 pinches?
Let's do 2 pinches.
Okay.
It's plenty of meat.
Alrighty.
And a nice couple big pinches of pepper.
Oh, pepper. Just black ground pepper?
Yep.
All right, 1, 2.
Yeah.
I kind of like pepper, so
3.
put a little extra in. Alrighty.
So I brought gloves, which you can choose to use or not use if you want them. But some people don't like the texture of meatloaf.
I'm usually dig my hands in.
Are you
but
a dig your hands in kind of guy?
The problem here that we have here is I dig my hands in, and then it's just coated completely coated with like leftover ground beef
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah.
that.
This is
So I
what
think I'll
gloves are
use
good
the
for.
gloves, and plus it's just fun to put on the gloves. Feel like you're an ER. Feel like we're gonna need a Kim 7 and stat CBC and a Kim 7 quick. He's crashing. Get the paddles. And if we had paddles, then we could beep. Okay, so
You want to incorporate everything, and what you're looking for is something that's the texture when you get done of Play-Doh. It should
Texture
be,
of Play-Doh?
It should be all incorporated, and it should be.
Ooh. I can see how people would be a bit skeeved out by the texture of this here, mixing it up with their bare hands.
It's one thing gloves are great for, is not having to touch anything you don't want to touch.
Now, how long has the restaurant there been open? How long has Fenwick's been open?
We will celebrate our 23rd birthday this summer.
And you've been there the whole time?
Yeah, I
But
sure have.
You opened it up when you were, you opened it up what, when you were like 10?
Thank you for the kind
Yeah.
words. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Wow, a 10-year-old opened her own restaurant. That's great. Okay, and so you opened it then at what age?
24.
24 years
Yeah.
old. Did you know anything about running restaurants?
I had worked in a restaurant, but I didn't. I had never owned a restaurant, and certainly
Okay.
did not have enough management experience to know what I was doing. So I've made every mistake in the book.
But you've learned.
But I've learned.
You've learned from those mistakes.
Yes, the school of hard knocks, and it's been a joy. We've had.
And so all the food there is just kind of this like
Yeah,
comfort,
It
nice,
is. It's
just
comfort food with a twist.
Yeah.
We've got great burgers and seafood and homemade soups and salads and.
and it's just a nice spot for locals, regulars, people there in the neighborhood.
Yep,
to
lots of
go
regulars.
to?
And
Okay.
let
I
me-
mean, if you're from out of town, feel free to stop by too.
We'd
They
love to
won't.
have. Oh yeah, we'd
They
love
won't
to have
kick you out or anything like that.
Our
But
rule is once you come once, you're regular. So.
oh, that's
you know,
good.
We'd
All right.
love to have you.
So Play-Doh, we're just about Play-Doh.
I think we're just about at Play-Doh, and
mean,
this is the trick to make a meatloaf stuffed.
Okay.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a sheet pan, a cookie sheet, if you will, and I've got a nice big piece of foil on it.
Okay.
And I'm going to spray that pretty generously with pan release. I'm using
Okay.
Pam, or you could use Baker's Joy or anything. But the trick is to spray the foil. Otherwise, you're going to have meatloaf stuck to the foil, and it won't give you a pretty look.
Okay.
And you can just dump that whole glob right in the middle. That's attractive.
Yeah, that's nice, huh? Huh? Here we go. One more glob. Yeah. All right.
Now, our job is to take this glob and smash it all the way.
By glob, that's a culinary term.
That's a culinary
That
term,
means
yeah.
a delicious mixture of beef.
and celery and onions.
So we're smashing it out to make a flat
yeah.
thing that we can put then our mixture inside
Right.
the center and roll up.
Right. What we're going to do is we're going to put our filling right up the middle, and then the foil will help us guide it to make a more traditional shaped meatloaf. Then after
Oh.
it's cooked, you have this pretty filling in the center.
We'll roll it
So-
like a sushi roll.
Yeah, it's much like
I
making
gotcha.
sushi. It's sushi.
Okay.
Sushi meatloaf.
Now, is this an idea you came up with yourself?
Yeah.
You just
One
day maybe you dropped the entire meatloaf out, and then you were like, "Oh, I've made a mistake," and then it was like the light bulb went off, and you went, "Oh."
Lots of good
Put
recipes.
stuff in the
Yeah.
center.
Lots of good recipes are collaborations, and I've had the opportunity to work with lots and lots of good people, and have had lots of good ideas.
Okay.
Kind of.
Is this how they make my Tyson's chicken cordon bleu?
Very
you know that I get
similar.
out of the box?
Very similar.
They spread the chicken out
Yeah.
and on tin foil and roll the little ladies roll it up. Oh, that's good to know.
You could, instead of using meatloaf, you could make the same filling we're going to make today, and you could take something expensive like beef tenderloin and make a big butterfly piece of meat and roll something up in it. But
Sounds delicious.
we thought we'd try it with meatloaf.
Well,
as
we're going to continue on with our meatloaf when we come back from the break, and we're going to be making up the stuffing and putting it in here, and we're going to be finishing our mashed potatoes when Carolina Cooking continues.
You can find the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas, all in one book, the Carolina Cooking Cookbook. Find the Carolina Cooking Cookbook in Amazon.com and our website, carolinacooking.tv.
Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. I'm here with Chef Catherine Rabb, and our mashed potatoes, or our potatoes for our mashed potatoes, are pretty squishy, so we're going to call those done. They're about ready to go. And you asked me to start heating up some cream. Is this heavy cream here?
This is heavy cream, or you could use half and half for milk, and
Okay.
we're going to put a little butter in it.
And why are we heating up heavy cream
I
and butter?
kind of like to marry temperatures together. So since we
Okay.
have hot potatoes, we'll have hot milk and butter, and it just kind of makes, I think, a better mashed potato. It makes it a little less stringy and a little more fluffy.
Oh,
in
that's
the mashed potato
because
like
I've
roll.
always put in just the cold milk and then wondered why my potatoes didn't turn out light and fluffy.
It could be the type of potato you use, but I like to.
Oh, I've tried a Yukon Gold.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, and it just didn't. So I think maybe this is the trick.
Well, I hope
maybe
it will
this
be.
is the secret. So just let this.
We're going to just
get
let it warm.
Okay.
You don't need to scald it or
So we're
bring
not
it
going
to
to
a
drain
boil.
those yet.
Nope.
All right.
And then we're going to come over here and stuff our meatloaf.
We have our meatloaf here all prepared that I squished with my own 2 hands, and it's all patted down. And now we need to make the stuffing.
We're going to slice this tomato.
Okay.
So what you want to do is just take take the back side off.
Mm-hmm.
Take the front side off. And you could peel these tomatoes if you'd like. You could use another tomato product like salsa or something along those lines.
Okay.
And
What else could you stuff this with if you didn't
Well,
want to use this stuffing?
if you're watching and thinking my kids aren't going to eat blue cheese, you could substitute cheddar cheese, Jack,
Okay.
a Mexican blend. I've put mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese in the center. You could do steamed broccoli.
Well, I'm sorry, the middle one. You put macaroni and cheese.
I did. I had
in the
leftover
middle?
macaroni and cheese, and I put it right up the middle, and it was really good.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
So
well,
what
you
you're
can-
doing is making an inside-out burger or a meal in a package.
we could put the whole meal in here. We could put our mashed
Yes.
potatoes and our green beans and roll it up. It'd be great. So these are we just putting these in as flat?
I think let's slice
Okay.
them down the side and make sort of a half,
Okay, 1/2.
and then we'll just run them right up the middle.
All
Just
right.
a little bit of an overlap, but right up the center.
Oh, okay, a little overlap.
So we're overlapping these tomatoes a little bit, just so that there's plenty of tomato filling for everyone when we cut the meatloaf.
Oh, okay. So people
Yeah.
don't feel like we
Just so that
skimped.
people don't feel like you skimped.
All right.
All
And
right.
one more.
Sure.
Do we need to get it all the way to the end, or
No,
should
I
we
think
leave some
I think
space
leave a little
at the
space
end?
at the end.
Okay. All right.
Next up, if you want it, this is about 9 pieces of bacon that are cooked and crumbled.
It was 9 pieces of bacon, but I've been kind of testing some of it to make sure. Some of the pieces here, like this one, didn't look so good. So
Quality
I want to make
control.
sure.
Thank you for
I
helping
got-
us
yeah,
out. Thank
no
you for helping
problem,
us
no
out.
problem.
And you can just sprinkle those right up the center.
Okay. Mmm.
And I like to make the bacon in pieces because it makes it easier to cut. You could easily use bacon strips, but then sometimes when you're cutting the meatloaf, you get a big piece of bacon and you kind of can drag it
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Next is blue cheese, and we're going to sprinkle it right up the middle too.
All right.
And there's plenty of blue cheese there. It may not use all of it. A little bit depends on how much blue cheese you like. If you like a real blue cheesy meatloaf, use a ton. If you
Now,
like
is this-
a little bit, that's it.
Is this and that's going to melt in all together, right?
What this
Kinda
is going to
hold
do,
it all-
what cheese does is it oozes through this, so you get this blue cheesy flavor in the entire meatloaf.
What's the green things?
This is for our potatoes, a little bit
Okay,
later chunks.
alrighty. So now show us how to roll it,
Here's
right?
the trick. What you want to do is you want to use the foil as a guide, and go ahead and help, kind of like you're rolling sushi. Let the foil help you bring the meatloaf together.
Oh,
So
I see.
then you can come
All
back
right.
in with your hands and turn it into a meatloaf.
So you just basically, when you fold it up
Yeah.
two sides, one went down first, one went down on the other
Right.
side. And because it is, gooey, meaty mess like Play-Doh, it'll all just stick together no matter what.
That's exactly right. Just want to make sure you don't have any seams,
And you do want to press down the sides here?
and you want to make
Or
sure
the
that
ends?
the ends are closed off.
Okay. Alrighty. And then that's what we put in the oven?
That is what we put in the oven.
Oh, look at that. We're going to have plenty for today and plenty for tomorrow when we
my
can make
favorite.
some cold meatloaf sandwiches.
My
I love
favorite.
those too. Yeah, you put ketchup on it. They're just great with ketchup. That's the best way to make them, don't you think?
I know.
With ketchup.
No.
No?
No, yellow mustard.
I don't know about that.
Yellow
Alrighty.
mustard.
And so wrap it all the way up because we've
Yep.
already sprayed it with the oil.
Right, and we're going to bake it for about an hour, tightly wrapped in foil, and then we'll open the foil and get it brown. In the
Okay,
last-
I'll grab this if you'll grab the
Thanks.
door for me.
Absolutely.
All right. 1 hour, and again, hit me with the temperature.
350 degrees
350 degrees.
for about an hour.
All right, so now our mashed potatoes,
Now our mashed
right?
potatoes. So
Okay.
let's drain those potatoes.
Alrighty. And this has already started to heat up. The butter's kind
Yeah,
of
and we can-
incorporated in there.
Yeah, that's exactly
So
right.
these are our potatoes. Just gonna drain them.
There's really nothing better than mashed potatoes, is there?
No, I love them. I always try to get a little garlic in there. I try to just do a little something extra. And I like them, I call them dirty with the skins on.
Yeah.
Are we gonna keep
We're
the
going to
garlic in
discard
there?
that garlic.
Okay.
And
Alrighty.
there's
Do I
one
have to
more in there
find the
somewhere.
other one?
We'll find it eventually.
Okay.
If not, we'll eat it.
All right.
Ah, there it is.
Where? Oh, you got it. Okay.
Got it.
Alrighty. Would it be bad to just leave it in there?
No,
and
it'd be
mash it
fine.
in?
It'd be
Okay.
fine.
And now we're gonna.
And what we're going to do is add this little bit by little bit, mash,
Okay.
and until you like the texture.
Okay. So little by little.
Little by little, and we may have more than we need, but we're just wanted to make sure we had plenty. And obviously, the softer and fluffier, the more stuff, you know, the more milk and dairy products you need.
So, and this is just, again, butter and heavy cream that we put in.
Yep.
But if you didn't want to use heavy cream, you could also use
You could use skim milk if you wanted to.
Okay. Oh, hey, that's why the hair on my hand is burning.
Ooh, sorry.
Is because I've left the eye on the back burner here. So, I'll explain that. And for a second, I thought I was just spontaneously combusting, but no.
And if I may, how about if I sprinkle some pepper and salt in there?
Sure.
All right.
I'm going to put a little more of this in, too.
Okay. Do
So-
you like salty mashed potatoes? Moderately salty?
Moderately.
All right. Potatoes are one of those foods that sort of suck up salt. You always end up using a little bit more than you think you're going to.
Little geyser of cream there.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Oh, it's looking good.
Oh,
looking
it
good,
does.
Tom.
I'll have to be the judge, though. I'll give it a taste here and find out. Just, I don't have a spoon, but we're cooking for ourselves. Yeah, I need to make it a little lighter, so I'll keep mashing.
Keep mashing. Did
And
you like
when we come back to Carolina Cooking, I'll be talking to Eris Ragazeas and find out which beverage he has prepared with our classic Southern comfort food here of meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and green beans. That's all when Carolina Cooking continues. So we're just going for,
you're
you like
scuffing the mash.
really light and fluffy, right? Try to get all the
all the
lumps
smashers out if you want. Some people like it lumpy, some people don't.
The Carolina Cooking Cookbook is in stores now. You can find the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas, all in one book, the Carolina Cooking Cookbook. Find the Carolina Cooking Cookbook in Barnes & Noble, Target, Borders Books, Amazon.com, and our website, carolinacooking.tv. That's right, carolinacooking.tv. All the recipes you've seen on the show, wine pairings, advice from the chefs, and Tom. Get the secret recipes of the best chefs in the Carolinas in the Carolina Cooking Cookbook.
No, it's just meatloaf, green beans, and mashed potatoes. Just Southern comfort food, you know? Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. I'm here with Eris Ragazeas, our wine aficionado, the expert on the grape here with Carolina Cooking. And Eris, we are making just, you know, some just nice comfort food. We're doing a different twist on meatloaf where we're actually stuffing blue cheese inside it with some tomatoes
That
and
looked a
some
lot
bacon.
more like your average meatloaf.
Yeah, well, it was quite large. Yes,
I've got
exactly.
something
It's gonna
more
feed
than
the
your
crew
average
and some
wine
others.
either.
Sure. What now is there a problem with the, you know, that there's going to be the blue cheese flavor?
You're just going to have to get a wine strong enough to handle that because
And
the
is-
blue cheese is one of the strongest flavors
Absolutely,
there
yeah.
are. Normally
Is
you
this
would only
the
use a
wine?
port. This is a wine to do it.
Okay.
This is from the Chase family who have owned these vineyards since 1872. And this vineyard, the Hain Vineyard, was planted 100 years before this harvest. This is the centennial harvest.
Happy birthday to it and you, Eris.
A wine that's even older than me.
Yeah, yeah.
100-year-old vines. They're 104 years old now, but
Yeah.
this is the 2003 harvest, and
Okay.
those vines were planted in, I guess, you know,
Wait, no, I'm doing math. Or 1003. That's 100 kids.
That's 1,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not quite that old.
Yeah, exactly.
1903.
1903.
Yeah.
Whew. See, it does pay to study in
We're
school.
a lot better in wine
Yeah.
than we are in math.
Yep.
Okay. Now, these old vines, you know, and this is from St. Helena, and that's typically thought of as Cabernet country.
Okay.
And in a way, that's a shame because when it turned out to be Cabernet country, everybody ripped out a lot of their old Zinfandel vines and planted Cabernet. Fortunately, the Chase family kept this old vineyard, and it's making some super ripe, very highly
Very ripe?
extracted. Boy, oh boy! Again,
Very nice.
It's like
full
liquid
flavor.
jam.
Yep, very nice full flavor. I think this is going to work great with our meatloaf and our blue cheese. I think it's going to complement it very well.
This has the grape extract, but there's also hints of cocoa in there, even. Wonderful stuff.
Well, and speaking of which, I got to get back and finish up my green beans and slice it all up and put it up on the plate. And I'll be doing all that when Carolina Cooking continues. This is really nice.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
100-year-old vines.
So and the old vines are the ones.
Go to carolinacooking.tv for the recipes featured on this show. Plus, on carolinacooking.tv, you'll find more information on the wines, chefs, and foods of Carolina Cooking.
Welcome back to Carolina Cooking. Well, we finished up our mashed potatoes, we finished up our meatloaf. Now we just have to finish up our green beans. And what we've done to get a little ahead of the curve, and this is something you can do, is you already blanched the green beans.
I steamed them gently. They're,
Okay.
they're crisp tender, and then I chilled them. I put them in a batch of ice water, and so they still have a little bit of a crunch to them, and they'll be quick and easy to reheat, and you can reheat them with any sauce
So
that
we're
you
just
want.
taking a little oil in our hot pan
got
here.
a little olive oil,
Okay. And you can see it's hot because it just instantly moves and glides across the pan. Is that enough oil?
That's plenty of oil.
All right.
Throw in the green beans.
How many do we need? About that many?
Throw them all in there.
Okay.
All in there.
Alrighty. And so then we're
we're essentially getting them warm with a little olive oil.
okay.
And what we're going to do is
I already got the salt, is
hit
that
it
right?
with a little kosher salt.
Okay.
A little bit of balsamic vinegar.
Alrighty. Is that good?
Yep. It's going to make a little.
It is
Jam?
indeed.
Oh, look, you can
Okay.
flip.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes until I get excited and then I just throw them everywhere.
A little pepper.
Little pepper.
And that
pinch of
kosher
pepper.
salt, balsamic vinegar, olive oil combination is good for any green vegetable. Awesome with spinach.
Yeah. There was a flash of fire. So all we're just doing is reheating them back up, so
And
they're
they're
pretty
all
much done.
set. They're done.
Alrighty. So we're gonna set these over here.
Right.
Oh, I need my tongs. And so it's
Mashed
only a 30-minute
potatoes.
show, so we got to go a little quick here. Mashed potatoes, cutting up a couple of slices of the meatloaf that we prepared, little pile of green beans.
You can see the blue cheese and the tomato in the center.
that looks incredible.
Yeah.
If you want to find out more about our recipe or our wine or our chef or her restaurant, visit our website, carolinacooking.tv. I'm Tom Zelinka. I'm here with Chef Catherine. And that's Carolina Cooking. Oh, meatloaf, I am ready to dig in.
Do you like blue cheese?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Go to carolinacooking.tv for the recipes featured on this show. Plus, on carolinacooking.tv, you'll find more information on the wine, chefs, and foods of Carolina Cooking. That's carolinacooking.tv.
Carolina Cooking is filmed on location at the Hadco Viking Showroom at 101 West Worthington Avenue in Charlotte, North Carolina. To find more information or a Viking showroom near you, call 1-800-2